Can't we harness the energy generated by spinning bikes and rowing machines, etc.? Hope you ain't biking that hard, I promise. Do you want to be in an episode of Black Mirror? Lol, they do. It helps power the bike, though lol can't generate much more than that. Ridiculous. I went to a power plant that had an exhibit where you could power a light bulb with a bike. It took everything I had, as a healthy young guy, to keep that bulb on. They don't generate nearly as much energy as you're imagining. From Google, an elite cyclist can maybe output about 400 W continuously for an hour. Using the average energy prices for my area, that is 4C worth of electricity. A full spinning class at the gym near me is 30-ish people. So if all of them were elite cyclists, you could generate around 120 worth of energy per session. I'm not sure you would even make a return on all the equipment needed to make that energy usable for the building. That said, those bikes I mentioned are powered by the riders on it, so in a way you can use the energy, just not for much. I went to a reggae concert in Madison a decade ago, maybe longer, and they had the stage using additional power from bikes and had like 30 set up. It was a free show and free to ride the bikes as an afternoon Earth Day type thing. I assume it wasn't a wild amount of electricity, but the technology does exist. I do know quite a few of those bikes and stuff will use the power generated to power their internal workout trackers, so you don't have to plug them in. But the new fancy ones with Wi-Fi and TVs still need to be plugged in. We should harness the spinning of the Earth. But they do require an energy source to function. You are the energy source. On top of that, there's no such thing as perfectly efficient energy transfer. Some of the energy you put into the system is lost to heat, friction, radiation, etc. On top of that, even if you found a way to capture all of the energy, it would only be equivalent to as much energy as you put in, no more. You can't create or destroy energy, only move it or convert it into other kinds of energy. This is why perpetual motion machines are pure fantasy. Even if you could create some sort of perfectly efficient, self-powering device, it would only have enough energy to keep itself going. If you captured any of it to use elsewhere, even minuscule amounts, it would eventually run out and stop operating. This is the crux of thermodynamics, which, as near as we can tell, has never been violated and cannot ever be violated. That is a thing in some gyms, but it only generates a token amount of energy. It wouldn't be anywhere near enough to even power the gym itself, for example. It would be maybe just enough to charge a phone or something. I have seen ones which run their own electronics display of speed, time, etc. off of it. I don't think you generate enough power to do much more than that. You can, but it's not much of an energy source. I remember reading a guy who rigged his TV to run off an exercise bike, so he had to exercise to watch TV. But it's not like you are going to run a whole house from it. Anyone else old enough to remember those wheel-powered headlights for your bicycle? You could barely get a usable beam no matter how hard you pedaled. https://u2.bs40500cq-axi=ixgo-fem6 bfda4wbe. It'll give you an idea of how little power it would generate. You might be able to charge your phone, LED lights for the room, and a fan, but you're not really going to crack the AC energy budget. A gym that pays you for the energy you generate for them would be a good idea. Would encourage people to use their membership more if it made it cheaper. I'm not 100% sure, but it could also be a moral thing, using people exerting energy to create something. It just seems there would be some people that argued that it was morally wrong. Edit, my answer is wrong as I misread my source. The average US home uses 1,200 watts of power day. There are examples of people outputting 100 watts of power on bikes for a few seconds. Safe to assume that 20 watts is what could be achieved by an average person that could pedal for an hour straight. This means you'd need 60 people to pedal for an hour straight to produce enough power for an average home. A gym building uses significantly more power, so the number of people required would be higher, so that's problem 1. Problem 2. What guarantee does a gym have that the number of people showing up and using generator machines is met every day? Can't run a business if you're not sure you have power tomorrow.